It's a beautiful weather at the city center of Nigeria, and this is your regular business program, packaged to broaden your knowledge on the consequences of human capital flight on the nation's development. I am Ile Emeje. Human capital flight, the emigration of highly skilled and educated individuals to other countries of the world, is a major threat that is disproportionately affecting developing nations of the world, with Nigeria taking no exception. In Nigeria, while human capital flight has been a major problem since the military dictatorship in the 1980s, it is, however, unduly worsened in recent time. Thus, there is an urgent need to provide long-lasting solutions to addressing this menace so that its aftermath could be reduced, if not prevented. This could be achieved by identifying and subsequently tackling the factors enhancing human capital flight in the country. Although some analysts have highlighted its gains to include, among others, the promotion of integration into global markets and the increased diasporan remittances, the consequences seems to surpass the benefits. In this edition of the program, the board chairman, board of trustees of the Asylum and Refugees Rights Advocate, Dr. Oke Ezugu, is joining us immediately after the business news to discuss the topic, which we captioned as Human Capital Flight and its Consequences on the Nation's Economy. We'll be right back. Trading activities from the floor of the nation's capital market reflected a positive level of participation last week as investors traded in a turnover of 5.719 billion stocks worth 88.828 billion naira across 80,064 deals. In volume terms, the Financial Services Index dominated the activity level with 3.87 billion stocks, followed by the conglomerate and the oil and gas industry, contributing in 724.4 million stocks and 223.24 million stocks. Meanwhile, the naira appreciated against the dollar on the I&E window, selling for 884 naira to the dollar, 998 naira to the pound sterling, and 953 naira to the euro. Ile Emeje, ASO Television News. So glad to have you join us on this edition of the program, and our focus today is on human capital flight and its consequences on the Nigerian economy. Our guest is here already and is the Chairman, Board of Trustees, Asylum and Refugees Rights Advocate, Dr. Oke Ezugu. Dr. Ezugu, you are welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me.
Happy New Year. I've not seen you since the year began.
Yeah.
All right. The issue with human capital flight, popularly referred to by many Nigerians as Japa syndrome or Japarization. A lot of people say it's Japarization, and it has become so worrisome. What do you think are major reasons for human capital flight from the country in the last few years?
Thanks for having me. I think we can look at this from two areas now, because we have categories of, when you're talking about Japanization, it shouldn't be an all-commerce game now, especially when it has to do with capital flight.
Yeah.
When we are talking about capital flight, we'll be talking of those very skilled professionals, doctors, engineers, lecturers, you know, those who really went extra mile to get themselves trained in their chosen areas.
We have doctors, we have professors.
We have a lot of them there. These are the people we should be looking at when we're talking about capital flight. Then we have these other categories who just want to go out there because they hear that if you get over there, you begin to live well and all of that. There are so many other reasons. Reason of unemployment, of course. I mean, that one is a general one, because with the high level of unemployment, not only in Nigeria, in other climes too, you see every youth that has graduated from the university and has spent some quality years, you know, trying to get out there, thinking that when they get there, that will be the best place for them and all of that. But When we're talking about capital flight, like I said, and we're talking about the professionals, the well-trained ones, the skilled ones, we begin to look at it from other angles beyond just the desire to move. You look at it from government angle, governance angle. Are we having the best of it in normal times? I mean, without really looking at the government, the present government, over the years, are we having over the years, are we been having the best of it? Are we having good governance at all levels? Are these professionals being encouraged to practice their trade? Are the necessary equipments available for them to actually do what they ought to do? Are they remunerated the way they should? And all of that. So, for instance, you look at the economy, the naira is wobbling. Well, to all our discredit, because of course the country is ours and the economy is ours, the currency is ours. Obviously, when you see a Nigerian doctor, for instance, who is earning maybe, let's say, 500,000 naira here.
An academic doctor.
And an academic doctor, a professor, for instance, who is taking 500 or less. And then he has the opportunity of going over there in any other country and he gets about $1,000. Now, when this money is taken back home here, for instance, and you begin to see $1 million, $1,000, 1 million naira. Of course, it's enough to trigger such movement. It's enough. The other one is, like I said, equipments. The environment to practice. Let me tell you something. One sorry state, which I have always taken note of, is, do you know that most of our professors and doctors and the rest of them were in the same class with the best doctors anywhere in the world? Most of them attended the same schools all over. In Europe, America, and the rest of them, most of them were in the same class. And we begin to imagine, why is it that even after staying in the same class with them and all of that, they come back home here? Yet, we are not seeing anything moving forward. And of course, the buck stops with the government, who should encourage that. That's one aspect of it. The other one is the people who want to leave because A, B, C, D have left this country. What exactly are they going there to do? A school start holder, for instance, wants to go and hustle. They call it hustle. I don't know the meaning of that in real terms. Somebody who has a school start here or elementary 6 and he wants to go to America to hustle. What's the meaning of that? What are you hustling? Because the society you are getting into don't even need your services in any form. Beyond the media jobs, which of course we all see them go there to do. But unfortunately too, the media job thing does not end up with the less educated ones, because you still go there and see even the highly educated and skilled ones reducing themselves from the level of the total level of all their certificates and all the training they have had to descend to the level of doing the same menial job that those who did not go to school have not gone. We are running for. So these are the challenges. But we are saying that government can do so much to begin to encourage these people. Encouraging them to mean, one, good governance, rule of law. Remove impunity from our system. There are so many inhibitions. There are a lot of things that make somebody who is in government begin to feel insecure. When you are in an office and you cannot feel secure with the job you are doing, even when you are ready to put in your best, it doesn't encourage you to stay. When there is no accountability, no transparency in government business, it doesn't encourage those of them who have seen this thing practiced over there. For instance, those of them who schooled abroad. It doesn't encourage them to stay. And unfortunately too, even the remittances we are talking about, how has it impacted on us? The remittances has ended up within the family circle of the man built a house. He built a house for the mother, the father, and maybe the relations are beginning to live well and all that. But on a general scale, the movement out there has not impacted anywhere back home here. We are supposed to benefit so much from even their experience, even when they jackpot, as it were. If they go there, they practice with the best hands in the world, under a different environment, under an environment where things work, under an environment where accountability, government is held responsible, individuals are held responsible for their actions, and they return here. Those things they have learned there, have those things followed them back home? We've not seen it. Most of the people that are going on jackpot now, the skilled ones and the rest of them, none of them have been there before. In the last 10 years or 20 years, many of them went to Saudi Arabia, went to America, went to there, and after some years, there's no place like home. They came back. And yet, we are not seeing changes in our system, even when some of them are appointed into government departments to head them. As board members, as director generals and all that, they have gone there, they have learned so much, they have competed with the best in the world, they have returned home, and we are not seeing the impact.
Is it a case of a belief system or the environmental forces, as some persons may put it?
I think, I don't want to say that there is something wrong with us as a people. The patriotic zeal is not there. Unfortunately, those that are patriotic who really want to do so much for the country are not getting the space to do that. Because a lot of people have so many reasons for getting into government. Yeah. Some people get into government because, oh, come on, Mr. A or B was this, and today, look at, he has this, he has that. Some people want to get into government to serve. But I must tell you for free that those who actually want to get into government to serve are not popular in our peculiar circumstances. They're not popular. And it doesn't look like the system appreciates them that much.
Right. Reports had it that, just like you mentioned, that a lot of them that are involved in human capital flight or jackerization, as the case, as many people call it in Nigeria here, they don't really get the succor which they run for. What do you think are the major challenges in terms of existing migration policies in Nigeria?
Well, I think the problem has nothing to do with our own migration policy.
You think so?
No, yes, I think so, because at the level of our migration policy, so much has been done. It's not because I was there before, but so much has been done, and the Nigerian Immigration Service, for instance, have done so much to ensure that only right persons travel out of this country. Okay. Only right persons, because the idea is not about getting your visa. The idea is not about having your money with which to travel. The idea is, as you're traveling, are you competent enough to travel? Do you have the capacity to survive when you get there? And these are some of the considerations that Immigration Service bring to bear before they clear even a Nigerian before they clear it to travel out. Now, but the problem is, the people who are traveling, how much do they know of the countries they want to travel to? There's always this conflict of law situations, because we have our own here. Laws, and unfortunately, even locally here, the Nigerians who want to travel outside don't even know so much about our local immigration laws. They don't know, not to talk of the places they are going to. So as soon as they find their way out from here, get over there, they are confronted with this conflict of law situation, whereby they start having culture shock. Let me call it culture shock. Shock of that you're walking on the street and somebody stops you and says, hey, come here. Let me see your passport. Let me see your this. Let me see your that. The culture shock of being monitored at every point in time. The culture shock of, having to commit one immigration offense and you are picked and you don't even get back to your house. You are on your way to the airport.
From there?
From there. the culture shock of not being able, not, you know, trying to talk to them, to whoever, to appreciate that because of your peculiar circumstance, you are not able to do what you ought to do, as is the case here. And like I said before, I must tell you for free that Nigerian immigration laws are the most liberal anywhere in the world.
Wow.
Yeah, sure. Most liberal anywhere in the world. We'll talk of our treaties, bilateral treaties, and all of that. The ECOWAS thing, ECOWAS protocol arrangement that allows people to come in and move around within the 16 member communities and all countries and all of that. That's part of it. But the other one is that even when you go to court now, if you begin to look at cases affecting migrants, those people who are from outside, who are in Nigeria here, you are not likely going to see many. There's death of decided cases on that, because most cases, issues done administratively. Our laws gives you enough room to, you know, take care of your papers and all of that. It's not just picking you up on the street and deporting you and all that without hearing from you and all that. And of course, recently, there is a suggestion and a provision already for these migrants or even Nigerians who feel unsettled by any of our immigration laws and all that, to go to the court and then steam off whatever they feel is their problem. You know, such opportunities are not always there over there. Over there, they pick you, you're on your way. In most countries. Here, we don't. At least you have all the opportunities. Oh, get your papers, get your this. If you are employed by a company, the company will be formed. They begin to furnish the documents and all of that to give you all the room to be able to see whether you come off the hook and all of that.
All right.
Yes.
Now, we also want to know how this has affected the economy of Nigeria, the impact of this human capital flight. What do you think are the effects of people running away from Nigeria in search of greener pastures in other countries of the world? What impact does that have on our general economy?
Well, of course, you should expect that it should impact. It should impact both ways, negatively.
Positively
and negatively. So it depends on where you are coming from.
Okay, what are the positive impacts?
Yeah, the positive impact, like I said, is which of course I had mentioned earlier, that we are not getting the best out of it, but remittances are there.
Okay.
Unfortunately, because of our prevailing circumstances, it doesn't look like these remittances are coming through the right channel.
Okay.
For instance, if every dollar that is supposed to come into this country pass through the banks, pass through the right channel into the country, the expectation is that, of course, bank will have their charges. If there are taxes to be paid, those taxes will be paid on such sums and all that. But we are having a situation where the bulk of these remittances are ferried into the country through unauthorized channel. You understand?
Yes.
Yeah, they come in, the remittances are not coming through the banks like we would expect. Let me tell you again that recently it's beginning to emerge that Nigerians who want to even travel abroad do a stopover in some of the countries around us.
Neighboring countries.
Neighboring countries of Benin, probably Togo and the rest of them, they do a stopover and all of that. The same way, if they are coming in, most of them will do a stopover in some of these countries. And instead of flying in, might decide to take any route they want. Of course, you know the size of this country. I must be honest to you that I'm not sure, even those that contemplated all the laws of immigration laws in this country took into cognizance our size. Because this country is a large one, there are so many obstacles all over the place, at the border areas, the places that, except you begin to recruit officers to the level where everybody will now have to hold hands all over the country. That's the only way it will be difficult for anybody to come into the country. But in real terms, it will be difficult to stop effectively people coming in through unorthodox way. Regular migration, of course, is always there. People coming in through one way or the other without passing through the necessary authorized routes and the rest of them. So with that, the remittances we are talking about is impacting individuals, like I've said earlier. A doctor who remits $5,000 back to Nigeria or back to his family, of course they make money, they have seen money, they build a house, they live well and all of that, but that's where it ends. On a general scale, it hardly impacts.
It does not impact the economy at all.
It doesn't impact the economy.
It seems from all of this that the government still is having a lot of work to do.
Sure.
Especially when it comes to the very important sectors like the health sector, the education sectors, and among other sectors. What do you think the government can do to reduce, if not preventing, the skilled workers from this capital flight?
There's always a standard practice. Even in funding of universities, for instance, there is a UN specification. There are specifications all over the world where you expected that a certain percentage of your budget should go to education, a certain percentage of your budget will go to the health sector and the rest of them.
I think we have that certain percentage of our budget going to this.
Yes, but has it met the minimum standard required? Because the health sector is not just any house sector. The education sector is not just any house sector. These are sectors that should actually be at the center stage of every country's development. If you miss it, you missed all. Yeah, we are facing security challenges, which is part of the whole thing. More money, so much money should go there. But that of the education sector, that of the health sector, more money should get in there, and we should upgrade. I'm on a serious note, without prejudice to any government or any particular hospital or something, but get to some of these government hospitals. And you see a doctor who probably is a consultant, superintending over an empty building that masquerades as a clinic or a hospital, where people come and he sits there to consult. He go to his consulting room, he'll be shocked. The kind of place, the kind of table, the kind of seat, the kind of office, and virtually equipment beyond the stethoscope he's wearing. That's the only thing that differentiates him from the ordinary person on the street. And look at it this way again, like I keep saying. Our nurses are doing well overseas. At least those of them who had the patience to pass through the system of training and all that, they are doing well over there. What has changed when they're here?
I'll ask you that question when we return from the break. Okay. The government should inject more money in the critical sectors of the economy, particularly the health sector and the education sector. According to my guest, he said, if we miss it, we miss it. God forbid. We'll take a break now and we'll be right back. Stay with us.
We are a nation blessed with people of diverse cultures, religions, languages, and opinions. It is ironic that we are now being ripped apart by our greatest strength, our diversity. We have allowed intolerance, insensitivity, bigotry, and nepotism to blind our vision of the greatness we can achieve working together as one. We may not have the same culture, nor religion, nor language, but we all belong to the same nation by the divine will of God. We did not choose to be Nigerians. Nigeria chose us. This nation is our divine heritage, and if we open our eyes, we would realize that what divides us pales in comparison to what unites us. And by the comparison and conciliation of our differences, we will grow until our differences disappear. Our unity cannot be willed by mere declarations, nor do we get unity by ignoring the questions that beg for answers. We must celebrate our diversity and debate our differences without fracturing our unity. Our strength is not in our numbers, but in our unity, because even the weak become strong when united. Nigeria unite.
This message is brought to you by Abuja Broadcasting Corporation, owners and operators of ASO Radio 93.5 FM Abuja, ASO Television DSTV Channel 392, Star Times Terrestrial Channel 127, Free TV Channel 507, People's TV Channel 285, and...
In case you just joined us, you are on to Business and Economy, and we are making an analysis of the consequences of human capital flight on the nation's economy. Our guest is the Chairman, Board of Trustees, Asylum and Refugee Rights Advocate, Dr. Oke Ezugu. Doctor, before we went on the break, you were trying to say that there are some reasons why people move from Nigeria to other countries, and you made emphasis on the quest for employment opportunities, for greener pastures, for better living standard and the rest of them. And you also said that it is so surprising that some of our teachers, our lecturers, our doctors, PhD holders, professors, and even medical doctors that are moving from Nigeria have also been in the same class with some of them over there. Then the question is, traveling over there, when they leave Nigeria to other countries of the world in search of these greener pastures and they get employed, the chances are that most of them are performing very, very well. Some persons that left Nigeria on a medical trip, maybe to treat one kind of ailment or the other, have also said this, that they confirm that most of the doctors they meet over there are Nigerians, those that have moved from Nigeria to those countries of the world. What do you think those countries are doing that we are not doing? Nurses in Nigeria will be, some of them will be misbehaving, maybe because of maybe reasons known to them, or they don't give their best. But when they travel abroad, they become the best nurses and doctors they have over there. What is happening? What is it they do over there and we are not doing right here in Nigeria?
Well, I think I'm inclined to ascribing that to our weak institutions. We don't have weak institutions, yes. Like I was talking about somebody being held accountable. If a hospital loses someone, there's always a medical investigation to find out what happened over there. Have you imagined a situation where a nurse will be on duty, but will be selling granite or selling wares or selling other things right there where she's at work or he's at work? Can you imagine a situation where a teacher will be selling clothes, selling akara, selling whatever, buns, right in front of the class where she's supposed to be superintending as a teacher? Can you imagine a situation where you get to a hospital, a public hospital, and from every indication, the conduct, the body language of the doctor you're meeting is that, look, you can't get anything here. You better go to my private clinic. You better go to my private clinic. And many of them, without mentioning words, will tell you in plain terms, if you really want to see me, so meet me at my private clinic. Because, one, but don't forget the government is paying them. How many times do they really go to the hospitals where they work here? And who has ever reprimanded any of them for not being able to do their job effectively? In Nigerian hospitals, I'm sorry to say this, you die, you just die.
Some of them will even come up to say the person reacted to so
and so.
Which may be.
Yes. And we've had cases where, because of poor investigation of ailments, we've lost quality human beings, and human beings in real terms. We've lost people because of the quality of our investigation. Sometimes you discover that they will say this one is cancer here, over there it turns out not to be, and all that. You understand? What I'm saying is that our system is so weak that nobody is prepared to take responsibility, and for inexplicable reasons too, Nigerians who feel unsettled by some of the actions of these public officers or government doctors or teachers or whatever, do not see any reason why they should waste their precious time pursuing this matter. I am encouraging that when such a case arises, take your time, sue the person to court, sue the institution to court, take the hospital to court, pursue it to its logical end. You are not just doing it's a civic duty. You're not doing it because you're affected only. Sometimes you do it because you need to straighten issues that will affect the larger society. Because when people begin to get aware that, look, if I do it this way, I might run into trouble, and somebody somewhere is going to remind me, or is not going to keep quiet and might drag me around and all that, some of this attitude will change. But because all the ingredients I've mentioned in terms of strong institutions, transparency, accountability, people being held responsible are over there. That is why they must change if they must work over there.
All right. Before I ask you of the role that your organization, the Asylum and Refugee Rights Advocate, the role you have played towards collaborations and partnership to some issues we have mentioned, it is very important for you to also bring our audience to the understanding of the difference between human capital flight, refugees, and asylum seekers. A lot of people following us may want to know. When you talk of human trafficking, refugees, asylum, what are the differences?
Okay, first of all, we've talked about the human capital now. Human capital, not trafficking. Is it capital or trafficking?
Human capital.
Okay, we've talked about the human capital flight, which of course is the immigration of our quality professionals, those highly trained and skilled professionals who for their own reasons, of course, and reasons of push and pull factors, decided to leave the country to go and practice their trade elsewhere. That's the capital flight thing we're talking about, human capital flight thing. It's a different ball game with ordinary persons who just want to travel because they feel they needed to go and hustle, like I said earlier. These are different people, and I wouldn't categorize them as capital flight beyond the reduction in our population, which of course is explosive already. Now, we are talking of asylum seekers. There are people who cannot go back to their countries because of the opinions they hold either against the government of the day, because of the opinions they hold either the religion of the society where they are, or the ethnic group where they belong, or their opinion generally about everything in the country. They hold such opinion and government is after them. They cannot go back home. To the extent that they are there seeking to legitimize their stay, they remain asylum seekers. They make an application to the relevant authorities, and the relevant authorities will weigh the scale of the documents they have, the prevailing circumstances they have heard about their country. Sometimes it could be through articles, things written on papers, news they have read. You put them together as evidence of whatever is happening to you that is making you not to go back to your country. You make an application.
Then refugees.
Then by the time you are now cleared up that you can now remain, is from asylum seeking to refugee status.
Okay.
Yes.
Because of the time, I don't want us to overemphasize on that.
Okay.
But again, what role do you think your organization has played in all of this, especially in partnership with the government, to address the challenges posed by global immigration and to approach the complexities of global migration and contribute to international discussion on this issue?
Well, one of the things we need, like I told you earlier, is this a new organization? We are just trying to be upstanding there, and there are so many international legal instruments affecting refugees, asylum seekers, migrants generally. Yeah. Some of them are not domesticated here. Some are domesticated. Then there are those of them that we really need to begin to talk to government to up the ante, kind of, push up the bar in terms of what happens to citizens out there. To me and to us, we believe that the country's embassies, Nigeria inclusive, should start getting more into knowing the whereabouts of their citizens.
Kind of enlightenment.
Oh yes, they should start getting more to know their citizens, where they are, what they are going through, what is happening to them, beyond the comfort of the embassies and the high commissions and the rest of them. For instance, if a Nigerian has a problem out there, the Nigerian government, of course, the Diasporan Commission, in all honesty, they are doing a great job. The Nigerian Diasporan Commission, they are doing a great job, and but they can do more by making sure that wherever a Nigerian is in trouble, even if he's a criminal, the commission and the embassy should be able to know the offense this Nigerian has committed. And if the person needs legal aid, offer some. If it is consular advice, offer some. For the fact that that person, that somebody is in detention and a Nigerian government official visits him to say, hey, we learned you're here. What is the problem and all that? Oh, come on. It gives him so much sense of belonging. It awakens his patriotic zeals, and he begins to think that he belongs somewhere. Yeah. But I must tell you for free again that there are so many Nigerians who are just loitering around. There are so many who are in prisons. Nobody knows that they are there. Their parents and relations think that they are there, that, oh, my brother is in Indonesia, my brother is in America, my brother is all over the place. But most of them are in prisons and nobody knows about them. Government should go beyond just allowing them to go out and come in and go out and come in, but ensure that it's something like town hall meetings, educate them, because that's what we are propagating, and that's what we are trying to tell government to do. Let us come up with seminars, enlightenment programs, workshops, collaboration. It's an all stakeholders thing, because your brother is not there today, your sister is not there tomorrow, your children might be there tomorrow. It affects all of us. So if you say it doesn't concern me, after all, my people are this, it should affect you. So we are trying to tell government to go beyond just administering immigration. The Nigerian Immigration Service today, I can tell you, is doing a great job. Their leadership is fantastic. The Minister of Interior, they are doing a great job. Innovations, creativity, because that's all it takes. When the dynamics of society are changed, when things are changing, you change. Dynamic, you don't just come and say, this is not how we do it. You can do it better. I don't know whether you understand what I mean. You can do it better. If you come in and see like what we are having in passport administration now, you come and you begin to have human interaction, and the government said, no, we can't have human interaction. We are now digitalizing. You can stay in the comfort of your home. Oh, beautiful. All
right. When you say that Nigeria government is doing well, immigration is doing well, this one and that, they are doing well, can you elaborate on any noteworthy aspects of Nigeria's immigration policies that asylum and refugee rights advocate is actively engaged with or advocating for change?
Yeah, we're thinking that the Nigerian Immigration Service should move beyond normal administration of migrants in and out. Okay. And begin to okay, let me even talk about an area now. Okay. Job creation. The Nigerian Immigration Service, if they decide today and if they are allowed to put their legs on ground and say, look, we need to create jobs for this country, they will. And I'll tell you why.
Why?
There are so many people who come into this country who are actually not qualified to be here. who come in here to do jobs that Nigerians can do. But because of our peculiar circumstances of somebody saying, okay, I'm an investor, and he brings in anybody he thinks can work for him. I'll give you an example of a situation where somebody comes as a harvester in a plantation, or a truck driver, or even a cleaner, or a cook.
But we have them here.
That is what we are saying. And there are so many other, and if when you go to some of the companies we are talking about, some of the companies we are seeing, the expatriate community, the expatriates in real terms, are just there. Those who do the job are Nigerians in real terms. And I must tell you again, when there is expatriate quota approval for a company, it means that the expatriates that are coming in are supposed to train Nigerians who should take over from them as understudies. As soon as they are able to imbibe so much of the technical knowledge which the expatriate is supposed to be importing into the country, they give way for Nigerians to take over. Question is, has it ever happened?
Has it?
Has it ever happened? Nigerians are not considered good enough for some of the positions out there because an expatriate must occupy such positions. And let me tell you for free that the problem is with our political class. Because for every company that decides to get into some of these oddities, you see a Nigerian politician behind it. You see a person who ought to say no being behind such arrangements. And that is a big challenge to the Nigerian Immigration Service and every other group in Ministry of Interior and whatever. We can create these, they can create these jobs.
Okay. From the body language of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, it's a new government.
Yes.
It shows that he's prepared to move the economy to the next level. Now, since you are into advocacy, what do you think we should expect in your collaboration with the new government to reduce human capital flight? And what would be your advice to especially the young ones or the skilled workers that are still planning to run away from Nigeria as we round off?
Yes, I must tell you that I'm so impressed with the quality of appointments I've seen so far by the present government. Professionals are being appointed to where they really belong.
As round peg.
Yes,
round.
Professionals are being sent to where they should impact their knowledge.
Okay.
A few days ago, I saw the one done in arts and culture and all of that. And check out the background of these appointees. And you'll be glad that, okay, for the first time, we are beginning to see people who really are going to do so much in the areas they are going to. And it's been replicated in some other areas. So I'm sure, and I have high hope that with time, like I said, we are not going to criticize government on the basis of our organization. What we will be doing is areas we think we should collaborate or we have a position, we'll write such positions, pass it to the agencies of government that are responsible as our own part of the suggestion. And if they want our collaboration, we do. If they want our suggestion, we do. But so far, there's a light at the end of the channel.
So your advice for those that are planning to run away?
No. Nigeria remains one of the best places you have. We have the best opportunities you can think of anywhere in the world in Nigeria. I begin to wonder how somebody who has 10 million naira or 20 million naira will take this million naira and give it to somebody to give you a visa to a place of unknown. You don't even a destination you don't even know what you're going to meet there. And like I said, some people have sold their houses, sold their properties, buildings, vehicles and the rest of them just for them to procure visa to travel abroad. Only to get there and discover that it's not what they think it is. So this is a land of opportunities. Nigeria. If you ask me to live anywhere outside Nigeria, I won't go.
Wow.
I will not. I can only visit. This is the land of opportunities.
Right.
And let our people, those in government, both abroad, the embassies and the rest of them, begin to interact with Nigerians and begin to reassure them that it is misinformation most times that is responsible for some of these movements.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. It is misinformation that is responsible for the movement of people from here to other countries of the world. He said Nigeria is the land of opportunity and is the best country. That is the size of our package for today, and I'm so sure that you had an interesting experience with us and my guest. The guest has been the board chairman, Asylum and Refugees Rights Advocate, Dr. Oke Ezugu. Dr. Oke Ezugu is also a retired Assistant Comptroller General of the Immigration Service. Doctor, I want to thank you for finding time to be on today's edition of the program.
Thanks for having me.
All right. And to you out there, our esteemed audience, we sincerely want to appreciate your time with us in this edition. Stay with us for more of our programming. I am Ile Emeje.